Hello everybody, this is Mark at Retired and Rebuilding. I wanted to talk a little bit today about as a senior adult living with your kids. Probably a lot of us out there, me included, that lives with their kids. A lot of different ways to do that. There are a lot of houses around here that are being built that have multi-generational floor plans, and they have completely separate living spaces that you can go in from outside or inside, and it's like a house within a house. That works great. Now that's not what I have. I just simply have a bedroom in my daughter's house. We don't have that much space, but I'm very, very much appreciative of having a place to go. My daughter asked me several years ago, right after my surgery, and I was working to recover from that. She asked me if I would consider coming and live with them. Now, I'm not sure exactly if she just wanted to help or to, make sure that I wasn't alone and was worried about my health. I'm not sure what her motivation was, but I went ahead and took her up on it. Not that I needed to at the time. I was living in an apartment, and but I was having a lot of difficulties. It was very hard after my surgery, and I was just working toward making things better. But I took him up on it, and I'm glad I did. If I hadn't had my daughters to live with, I really don't know where I would be right now. I don't know if I would be homeless or if I would just be, living with some other family, my sisters, or trying to find someplace else that I could just stay for a while until I got back on my feet. I don't really know, but I'm very, very, very much appreciative of the situation that I've got. I don't really have to worry too much. Live in a very nice place. It's safe. It's comfortable. I'm very much appreciative of that. But as you get older, I've always known this. I've never really understood it watching older people and how they, really valued their independence. I guess I understood it, but as I've gotten older, there's two parts to it. You want your independence. You want to have a space to yourself on your own, feel like you've got a space of your own to live in. And, that's part of it. But also, a big part of it is being a burden. No matter what the situation is, unless you can help your kids buy a house that has multi-generational things and you're paying what you would consider your fair share, then, that would probably be fine, and I'm sure that would work out, and a lot of people are in that position. I'm not able to pay a lot of rent, and of course they feed me too, so really it's kind of like room and board. But I don't pay a lot per month for that, but I pay as much as I can. And even with what I want to pay, which is not as much as I would like to pay, it still takes me a little bit below what I have. So I do need to work a little bit, and I have been, but I've been cutting back. It gets very difficult once you get, especially I guess when you're thrust into it, having a heart attack and surgery, you come out and all of a sudden your future is very different. The ability to hang on to some of the dreams, retire and travel, and do some of the things. I've never had much money, and I knew retirement was going to be a challenge, but I just didn't think that I would be in this position so quickly. I should still be able to work. I'm only 65, but I tell you, it's got so many things are working against me right now that makes it very difficult to do that. I would really like to find a place to work, but I can't be what I would consider a good employee. Maybe if I knew people that were, willing to, find me a place, that, kind of tolerate me, I guess. And I don't want that. I've always been a good employee, and I want to be a good employee now, and I can't. I can't even seem to be able to DoorDash for any length of time without it being so hard on me that I've got to take a break from it, and it's very discouraging. It keeps you from being able to pursue the life you really want to pursue. And I have been scaling back my dreams, and even this plan, my 18-month plan, I've been scaling it back because I can't get my debts paid off in 6 months. I'm going to keep chipping away at them. I have been a little limited on meeting that 6-month goal early on, and I know that I'm not going to be able to quite get there, but I'm going to keep working toward it, and I'm going to keep working as much as I can and putting as much as I can toward it. And I'm not giving up on living a life that I enjoy. Not that I don't enjoy living with my kids. I do, and I enjoy my life. But it's between always feeling like you're a burden and not really ever having your own space. It's I appreciate very much. It's hard on them. I don't want to be. I know. I love my parents to death, and I would have had either one of them live with me in a heartbeat without even hesitation if they would have needed it in this situation, and I know that. But it would have also been hard, and I know that. It would have been hard, but we would have done it. But I know it would have been hard. And I know it's hard for my daughter and my son-in-law and their kids. It's almost not fair that they don't have their own life and their own family and their own, but a lot of parents live with their kids, and a lot of grandparents are, heavily involved, always have been, but I haven't lived with them that much. But it's, I like where I am. I'm very comfortable, and I'm not having to worry about, every meal every day. And I've got a roof over my head. All of the basics in life are covered. And I have no complaints about that. That's security that you can't, that you've got to remember. And those are the basics, and I've got that. But I'm hoping that I've got another 10 or 15 years left, and the thought of having 10 or 15 years of struggling and just barely getting by and doing what I'm doing now is very hard to take. May be the case. I may just have to resign myself to the realities of life and just bear with it. But I've always been ambitious. I've always tried to go after the things that I've wanted in life, and I've been able to get there against a lot of odds. I've gone into business a couple of times when I just, there wasn't any way of really doing it, but I managed to pull that off. So, I don't mind going after things and trying hard, but, I was young then, and I had energy, and I could work, and it's really discouraging now. I would very much like to work and earn money to go with my Social Security and get my head above water and get some of these dreams realized, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So in the meantime, I'm scaling back my dreams. I'm continuing to plan alternatives. I'm continuing to plan all of the elements that I need regardless. I said on my last video about camping in my vehicle for 30 days at a time. May very well do that. And I had the contraption that I've designed for my roof. I may very well build that. I just don't know right now. I've got to be very careful in the decisions that I make, and I don't want to spend money building something for this car when I would be better off, putting it on toward getting a van and getting what I really want. Or it's very difficult to know. But I just wanted to talk today a little bit about living with your kids. And I know there are a lot of people out there that are in my position that are living with their kids. And it's not easy. It's not easy for them. It's not easy for you. It's difficult. But you make it work. And they've made it work fine. I've made it work fine. I have a strong sense of responsibility when I'm in there to try to let them be a family and just to be there out of the way and not interfere with their life any more than I absolutely have to. And I try hard to do that. But I'm still there. I'm still, it's difficult. But I'm probably going to have to find some form of that over the years. But I'm not going to give up on keeping trying to have a better life for myself. I just don't quit. I'm positive. I know that I'll find a way. I'll find a way to make it better. I'll find a way to exist and be happy. And I'm going to be happy and content regardless if I can just barely scrape by. I'm alive. I'm here. I'm around family. I've got both my daughters and all my grandkids right here close to me. And, it couldn't be any better. So things are good. And I always come back to that. Things are good. I just am still trying to make the best life for myself that I can. And I'm not going to give up on that. So we'll just keep plugging away at it. And I encourage all of you that are out there living with your kids and whatever situation it may be, leave a comment. Give me a little bit about your point of view. Maybe you've got a thought that may make me see things differently and not feel like such a burden on my kids. Or maybe this video will help you to see that you're not the only one that feels this way. And you can make it work. You can all make it work. Family is important, and just surviving and doing the best you can every day is what you've got to do. And I plan on doing that. Regardless of what I've got in resources, I feel like I'm a very rich man simply because I've got a great family and they're right here around me. I wouldn't trade my 2 daughters for nothing. I love my daughters more than anything else in this world. And my 5 grandkids are just great. I love my son-in-laws too, but my daughters are the most special people to me in the world, and they always will be. And I'll do whatever I can for them, and I don't want to ever be a drag or a burden on their lives. I've raised them to be independent adults and carry on and do good in life, and they've done good. But I don't want them to be dragged down by having me not have done so well. So, but I think we're all going to make it. And I'm determined and I don't give up. I'm going to keep making my situation better. And if I can keep making my situation better, their situation will be better. So that's what I've got to do. And I'm going to. But I appreciate you guys viewing, and let me know what your thoughts are about living with your kids. If you do, if you've thought about it, if you thought about living in a multi-generational home, if you've, whatever the circumstances are, You know, we've all got our lives to live, and we're all in different circumstances. I'm very lucky to be where I am, but I'm going to continue to try to make my life better, as I would encourage everybody to do. The most important thing to do is appreciate what you've got, and I do. But I will continue to make my life better. But thanks for watching, and hope this video helps you in some way, but hope you leave a comment and encourage me in some way. You know, give me your experience. You know, maybe leave a comment and ask a question about your experience, and maybe some of us can help you. So, but I appreciate you watching, and it's wish everybody out there the best of luck. We'll keep plugging away at it and make the best life you can for yourself. Thank you very much.